honestly a little bit, how do I put this? I'm kind of reluctant to making this video, really. I don't really know what sort of backlash or any sort of repercussions that I might get from making this video would be, but I really do want to talk about a topic that needs to be brought up to the stacking community, especially right now with the current state of it, and it's something that I don't know if anyone else is going to bring it up or not, so if no one else does, then I'll be the first to. What I really want to talk about today is the current status over the entire community itself, just kind of as a whole right now. Over the last maybe 2 years or so, I've noticed stackers are becoming a lot more irritable, a lot more entitled. They show contempt for people who are faster than them, and they're just incredibly self-conscious of their own records, and honestly it's like I don't even really know what to say other than it's like everybody just kind of, feels like almost everyone in this kind of just, out to get these people. They just pretty much criticize them over absolutely everything they do. This can include things inside and outside of the stacking community. It's just not a great environment right now. I don't really know if there's a better way to say that, but it's just not the greatest place right now. I mean, it's not great. I don't really know if there's a better way to say this, but it's definitely gone downhill an awful lot. I mean, I don't know if the pandemic really has much to do with it, but maybe it kind of just went downhill because of the pandemic and no more tournaments and anything like that. I mean, pretty much all the tournaments went online and stuff like that, but I do think there's a bit more to it, and part of the biggest issue, and really the biggest issue that's currently going on right now, is that we're just not treating each other very well in this community anymore. I mean, as I said just a little bit ago, it seems like a lot more people are starting to have contempt for people who have faster times than them. They really don't want anybody beating their own records, don't want them to beat their own game or anything like that. This is especially prevalent in the fastest on the webs. Lots of people who have fastest on the web times are very self-conscious about other people beating them, and a lot of people just seem to be only beating those records or the fastest on the web times or whatever just for the validation that it would bring them after, rather than actually, having fun, meeting new people in the sport, having fun, just all the usual stuff that a lot of people would probably expect from the stereotype of this sport and this community overall. It's kind of difficult and it's a bit nerve-wracking to really bring it up. I just kind of wish, that we cared about each other a little bit more. However, honestly, nothing's really changed. I know Kian Lynch made the whole video about the positive pyramids thing back in 2019. All I can say is that it's just gotten worse ever since that video was put out. I definitely do think Kian noticed the red flags well before I did. It's just not great. I mean, I've said this already, it's just not great. More people, the biggest issue that has really come up to me especially is that just the way that other stackers are being treated. Lots of stackers are just not forgiving of other stackers, like mistakes and stuff that they made. Some of the biggest ones I think would definitely have to be the smear campaigns against the people who actually and honestly apologized for the times that they faked, and pretty much having that held over their head probably for the rest of their life maybe. But I just honestly don't think it's necessarily fair the way that many people in the community are being treated right now, and it's just like I honestly kind of want to get out of here just as much as the next person at this point, One of the biggest reasons I'm bringing this up right now is because of the Generation 5 timer debacle that pretty much was announced earlier today. So Generation 5 timers will not be included. They have a thumb pad on there, which means that you actually have to use the thumb pads to start the timer, as well as your hands, to prevent a lot of things like illegal starts and stops and stuff. But I honestly do think that the release of the Generation 5 timer has significantly made it worse in this community. I am not doing a video about the Generation 5 timer because of this. I don't have it yet, and I don't really want to judge it until I actually get it. But the way everybody is currently reacting about the timer being released is dividing the community a lot more. But we shouldn't be so judgmental of other people's stacking opinions, right? I mean, I don't care if you like it, I don't care if you hate the concept of it at all, but I just kind of, wish that we wouldn't, shut people down who have unpopular opinions about this kind of stuff. As well as, and I'll probably make another entire video on this too, but especially people who have come back and apologized about faking their times. The way that many of these people are usually treated after is pretty poorly, even though they really did genuinely apologize for this kind of stuff. It's more or less just kind of, I guess, the mob mentality or something after saying that they faked their time, they're a really bad person, but the people who are saying pretty horrific things to some of these other stackers can often get away with it. And many people, I guess, I don't know, just forget about it, or they give into it and believe it's the right thing to do to these people. I don't know. It's just not necessarily a great place, and honestly, I know people are going to say it'll get better over time, but I honestly doubt it at this point. It's only gotten worse over the past couple of years. I think, one thing I really do hope is that more people will leave and that a new generation of stackers can emerge after that. But the way that it's currently going right now is just not necessarily great. And I just think, people aren't necessarily being treated in the stacking community very well, too. But I just kind of, wish that everyone would actually have some remorse for everyone, regardless of their opinions or what they truly believe in or the mistakes they've made, rather than it just pretty much being held over their head for, I don't know, the entire time they're still stacking, or what could even be happening at that point. But it's just not great, and it's really just going downhill. I think the announcement of the release of the Generation 5 timer has made it significantly worse for everyone, and I do honestly think that it's just going to go downhill from here, honestly. I don't really know what I can do about it. I'm not making any sort of promises saying I'm going to leave or anything. There's no guarantees of that at all, but I just want to be here to have fun with everyone. I don't really care that all the tournaments are online now. I'm not even participating in any of them anymore. It's just nice to meet, like-minded people who love stacking, who we can become friends over stacking and everything like that, rather than, all the disagreeable thoughts and opinions and mistakes that everyone's made pretty much being held over their heads by other people of the same community. And also for actually, congratulating and being happy for people who beat your own records, rather than being contemptuous of them all the time. But I honestly don't really know what I can say to this, other than this is just the current status of the community right now. It's not a great place. I'm going to go ahead and say that. It's not necessarily the fun place that everybody can unite over like it was. The newer stackers who come to the community, we should just treat them, just treat them like people, Introduce them to it, be nice to them and everything. But now it almost feels like we're not accepting new members into this community anymore because they're not as fast as us or something like that. So that's really just what I want to bring up on that. And I have to admit, I'm not doing this for any sort of recognition or anything, but I want to bring this up because this is just the way it is at the moment. It is not great, and I want people to understand that. And I wish people could, I want this community to treat each other better. I really do. And I really want to see the best in everybody. I want to see everybody get to their potential, but it seems like a lot of people are just kind of rejecting that ideology now. So this is kind of where we're at right now. Thank you guys for watching this video. Your regularly scheduled programming will return soon.